I am making a Sprite deck profile just because I managed to finally get everything I needed for the deck. And I realized my playstyle Sprite's probably a bit different from most people's. But I literally just slapped this deck together to play one card in the extra deck. I will mention what it is when I get to it. But starting off with the monsters, I play 3 copies of Nimble Beaver. Nimble Beaver has the effect that when it's normal summoned, you can summon a level 3 or lower Nimble monster from your deck or graveyard. Next, I play 2 copies of Nimble Angler. Nimble Angler just lets you summon 2 more beavers when it's sent from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Then next, I play 3 copies of Sprite Carrot. Sprite Carrot can be special summoned while you control a level 2 monster. Or, let's see, make sure I'm doing that right. Yeah, if it's a level or link 2 monster you can special summon from your hand, you don't, and all the Sprite monsters share that effect, where you can only special summon them once per turn that way. And then once per turn, or when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect, then as quick effect you can, what was it, tribute one other level, rank, or link 2 monster to negate the activation. Then if you tributed a link or Xyz monster, you then destroy that card. You'll use that effect as Sprite Carrot once per turn. Next, I play 3 copies of Spright Red. Spright Red does the exact same thing as Carrot, except for monsters. Where your opponent activates a monster effect, you tribute a level, link, or rank 2 to negate it, and then if you tribute something from the extra deck, then it's destroyed. Next, I play 3 copies of Spright Blue. When Spright Blue is, I believe, normal summon. Okay, now if it's special summoned, then you can add a Spright monster from your deck to your hand. And then I play 3 copies of Spright Jet. Jet does the exact same thing as Blue, except adds a Spright spell or trap. And then lastly, I play 3 copies of Spright Pixies. Spright Pixies lets you, I believe. Okay, yeah. So if you're level, link, or I think it also includes rank, 2 monster battles, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to then increase that monster's attack points by 1,400 until the end of the damage step. Just going to check to make sure it was correct. Okay, no, it's until the end of this turn. You can only use that effect as Spright Pixies. You can only use each effect as Spright Pixies once per turn. Moving on to the spells, I play 1 copy of Spright Gamma Burst. Gamma Burst has the effect that you can activate it to make all your level, link, and rank 2 monsters gain 1,400 attack. And then you can also banish from your graveyard, target a level, link, or rank 2 monster you control and increase attack by 1,400. But you can only use one of those 2 effects per turn and only once that turn. Then I play 1 copy of Foolish Burial. This just lets you send Nimble Angler from your deck to the graveyard. Then I also play Monster Reborn, just as lets you target a monster in either player's graveyard and special summon it. They also play 1 copy of Glorious Numbers. Glorious Numbers can only be activated while you control no monsters, but lets you target a number of monsters in your graveyard, special summon it, and then you can draw a card. And then you can also banish Glorious Numbers from your graveyard to then target a number monster you control with no materials and attach a card from your hand to it as a material. Then I play 3 copies of Spright Starter. You can only activate 1 Spright Starter per turn, but you summon a Spright monster from your, hand or deck. Now, let's summon a Spright monster from your deck, but use life points equal to its original attack, and locks you into the level, link, and rank 2 monsters. Next, I play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. Forbidden Droplet lets you send any number of cards from your hand or field to the graveyard, aside from itself, to then, non-targeting, negate the attack or the effects of the monsters your opponent controls equal to the number of cards you sent, and also have their attacks. Furthermore, your opponent cannot respond with this cards that have the same type as the card you sent, so like spell, trap, or monster. Lastly, for the spells, I play 3 copies of Rank Up Magic Barion's Force. This is only playing it because if you're not locked into Link 2s, then you can actually use this on some pretty decent chaos numbers. For the traps, I'm playing 3 copies of Spright Double Cross. Double Cross lets you target a monster on the field or in either player's graveyard and then activate one of the following effects. We can attach a target monster to a rank 2. You can place a target monster your opponent controls in your zone, in a zone your link 2 monster points to and take control of it. And then you can special summon the target monster from either graveyard to your zone your link 2 monster points to. Wait. Okay, no, you place the targeted monster on the zone your opponent's link monster points to. Usually I use this to attach something to one of my rank 2 monsters. Then I play 3 copies of Number Protection. This is just a Solemn Judgment while you control a number monster that can recycle itself by having a number monster you control be destroyed by battle or card effect. And lastly, I play 3 copies of Number Wall. Number Wall just makes it so that your number monsters can't be destroyed unless it's in battle with another number, which most people aren't attacking with numbers. And then for the extra deck, I play 1 copy of IP Masquerena. This just lets you link summon your opponent's turn when you've locked yourself into link 2s. Next, I play 3 copies of Spright Sprint. When Sprint is summoned, you can send... Let's see, what was it? If the turn it's link summoned, you cannot use it as link material. And then you can only use one of the 2 effects per turn and only once that turn. Or I don't remember if it's if it's link summoned or... Let's see. Yeah, if it's link summoned, you can send a level 2 from your deck to the graveyard. And then if a monster is special summoned... Let's see, I think it was to a zone this card points to. If another monster special summoned while this card is on the field, you detach a material from an Xyz monster you control, target 1 card on the field, and return it to the hand. Most of the time, you're just going to be doing that after the turn it's link summoned. Because usually you'll summon this, it'll send Angler summons 2 beavers, and then you use those to make a link 2, or a rank 2, or another link 2. But anyway. Next, I play 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix. Nightmare Phoenix, just once link summon, lets you discard a card, target spell track your opponent controls, destroy it. And then if Phoenix is co-linked with a monster, you then get to draw 1 card. Then I play 1 copy of Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. Appaloosa gets 800 attack for each material used for its link summon. And then once per chain, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can have Appaloosa lose 800 attack points to then be able to negate that monster's effect. Next, I play 1 copy of number 2, Ninja Shadow Mosquito. Ninja Shadow Mosquito has the effect it cannot be destroyed by a battle, and then you take no battles from damage involving it. All monsters your opponent control must attack it if they're able, and then when attack is declared, to activate 1 of 2 effects. We can detach material, and if you do, give the the opponent's monster an hallucination counter. And then hallucination counters just make it so that monster's effects, or the effects of that monster, are just negated. So even if it has a continuous effect, it will be turned off while it has a hallucination counter. And then its last effect just makes it so that you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of 1 monster with a hallucination counter. And then the reason I put this deck together is for 2 copies of number 96, Dark Mist. Dark Mist requires 3 level 2 monsters, and then just has the effect that once per battle, during either player's turn, when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, detach a material, it steals half of that monster's attack points. I just like this card because if your opponent doesn't realize that... I've honestly won quite a few games with this card just because my opponent didn't realize that its effect can be used when they attack it, not just when it attacks. Then next I play 1 copy of number 65, Gin Buster. Gin Buster just has the effect that when your opponent activates a monster effect, you detach 2 materials, negate the activation. If you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Gin Buster, however, does require 2 level 2 dark monsters, which isn't a problem because if I remember correctly, it's like Blue, Jet, Pixies. Honestly, Gin Buster is part of the reason why I'm playing more than 1 Pixies. It's just because it's another level 2 dark that can special summon just by having a level 2. Next, I also play 2 copies of Gigantic Spright. Gigantic Spright has the effect that if it's XZ summoned, you can, or for its XZ summon, you can treat any Link 2 or as a level 2 monster. Then the original attack of this card that has a Fusion, Synchro XZ, or Link monster as material becomes double. And then during your main phase, you can activate this effect, detach material from a monster you control, and if you do, special summon a level 2 monster from your deck. However, neither player can special summon monsters except level, Link, or rank 2 monsters for that turn. One thing about this card is that it does prevent Nibiru from being activated because your opponent cannot special summon Nibiru since Nibiru is not level 2. And then lastly, I play 1 copy of Chaos number 96 Dark Storm and 1 copy of Chaos number 65 King Overfiend. King Overfiend is just a funny card if you can get it out in your first turn, just because I've had games where I was able to summon this with Number Wall and Numbers Protection, and your opponent just couldn't really do anything. It just has the effect where you can detach material, target a monster your opponent controls, it loses 1,000 attack and defense, but the effect you really want is that while it has number 65 Gym Buster as material, the effect monsters your opponent controls cannot activate their effects. That's why I like it, because it's just skill drain with extra steps, essentially. And then Dark Storm has the effect where it can't be destroyed in battle. And then when it as long as Dark Mist is a material, then whenever Dark Storm battles, it just detaches the material to then steal all the attack points of the opposing monster. And I think it does more. And the last part of it, a Dark Storm's effect, is that any battle damage you would take from battles involving it, your opponent also takes. But that is it for my Spright deck profile. If you have any ideas what I can do to improve the deck, other than taking out the rank up magics, because if you just take out rank up magics, all the number stuff, then you can easily toss in hand traps. Feel free to comment down below. And then if you have any ideas for decks like CBB in the future, or decks like see face each other, comment below. Thank you for watching.